Man, what's going on, good people, man? Welcome back to the channel. And what we finna get into today is we're gonna talk about why you should never compromise with women. Now, before we get into it, I already know I'm gonna have people come for me because they're gonna say, Josh, what you mean? Like, you gotta compromise in relationships. That's not what I'm talking about. I understand that there's things you're gonna do in a relationship to where you're gonna have to compromise. That's part of being in a situation with somebody else. That's a part of it. But what I mean is, I'm talking about from the morals aspect. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing I want y'all to understand is when it comes to dating, it's rare to see women compromise. And with men, we go along with things to get a certain outcome. So a woman could not be showing you no type of interest. She could literally reject your offers to go out, but yet we're still steady chasing her, steady trying to prove ourselves, steady trying to get her out when she already told us that she's not interested. The reason why we do that is because we're coming for a scarcity mindset. This is why you should never compromise your morals. Because as a man, you gotta have standards for yourself. So if you're doing things to compromise what you believe in, naturally it's gonna put you into a weaker position. The reason why we compromise as men is because we're coming, again, like I just mentioned, we're coming from a scarce place. So we're always coming from a place of, man, you know what? I don't really feel like I can get her. So let me do A, B, C, D, which already is going against your morals, because maybe if I do this, maybe I can get her. Maybe I can lock her down. And what you gotta understand is, from a man, as a man, you wanna come from a place of, you know what? I can get this woman as long as she's attracted to me. Because when you compromise, this is where you start to self-sabotage. This is where you look desperate. You start to look thirsty because you're doing things that make you look weak. Especially in the dating game, you're gonna get ate up by doing that. You can literally get eaten up from not having no values. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I said, I know y'all gonna see the title of this video. I don't know if I'm gonna name it this, but you should never compromise, never. Now, let me give y'all an example, right? So say for instance, right, one of your standards is on a first date, maybe it's like, okay, I'm only gonna take a woman to these certain places where it's cost effective. But you compromise because the woman says, well, I don't wanna go to any of those places. I don't wanna go hiking with you. Let's go to State 48, and you take her there. That's an example. You compromise because you're thinking in your head, okay, let me impress this chick to get a certain outcome. How you get somebody is how you keep them. So what you gotta understand is, if you end up taking her there, guess what you're gonna have to do every single time? You're gonna have to spend a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? This is why you don't ever compromise, because what you do with the woman, you're gonna have to keep that up. And she knows that you're compromising because she can see the thing is, women can sense the unhappiness. You know what I'm saying? And this happened to me so many times, like so many times throughout my 20s, I will be doing things and going along with it, knowing good and well that if a girl that didn't look as good as her asked me to do those things, I wouldn't be doing it. This is why you got to treat every girl the same, because a lot of times the better a woman looks in our heads, we'll do things we know good and well we wouldn't do with somebody that look half as good as her, but we'll do it with this chick. And we thinking that we gonna get her, but really, you really compromising and putting yourself in a weaker position. And all it really is putting yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Like in my life, there's so many times where I never put myself first. I always put other people first. I put women first. And guess what? Women put themselves first. You know what I'm saying? That's what we don't understand as men. So what you got to think is, if a woman puts herself first, she's going to do what's best for her. So if you're not what's best for her in that moment, then what you think doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. That's why as a man, you have to always continue to level yourself up and do what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to have your back like you. But when you put yourself last, like I always say on this channel, other people are going to put you last. Like if a woman doesn't want to deal with a guy, she's not going to deal with him. If she doesn't want to go out with you, she's not going to want to go out with you. So as a man, you have to do the same thing. Because what's funny is, as a man, we'll mess with women we don't necessarily like. Women, they don't mess with dudes that they don't like. So again, women date to eliminate, and men usually we date to accumulate. So in that instance, when women date to eliminate, they can find one wrong thing with you and cancel you out. So you kind of have to be the same way. It's called vetting, you know what I'm saying? So you have to come from that mind frame of, okay, I see that you look good, you know what I'm saying? I see you got some fat back there. I see you got the pretty face, but what else? What else you got? You know what I'm saying? What else you got? How do you think? Are you nurturing? What's your mindset like? What's your family like? You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me not be so pressed. Let me not be so thirsty for the SCX. That's not compromising. Compromising is when you see a chick that looks really good and you thinking like, man, I already know she got a lot of dudes, so let me take her here. You know what I'm saying? Let me take her there. Let me take her on this trip. Let me buy her this bag. You're compromising. Because the reason why I say that you're compromising is because you wouldn't do that same thing with that chick that looked half as good as her. That's what makes it a compromise. You know what I'm saying? And when you compromise, you're naturally putting yourself in a weaker position. And in this game that we're in, it's all about leverage. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be at the bottom position, because when I put myself in a weaker position, I always came up last. Any girl that I really like and she actually liked me back, I will mess it up because I compromise. Chasing too much, doing things I know I shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to put on a certain persona. You know what I'm saying? All of that is a part of compromising. You know, so the way to not compromise, it comes down to your standards, right? Having standards for yourself and following those standards. So if you don't take somebody on a first date to a fancy restaurant, don't do it. Don't do it just because you think she looks good. Because what happens is, you know, we'll deal with the woman and she'll say, well, you know, you gotta take me, you know, real men take me on a date on the first date. They hit you with that, but you don't have to do that. You stick to your morals. You stick to your discipline. You stick to what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? That's how you operate with that. You know what I'm saying? Never do anything out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? So have standards for yourself, but don't do anything out of the norm. Put yourself first. If a woman is not rocking with you, or she's giving you a maybe, or, you know, she's not treating you how you're supposed to be treated, then you walk away. You got to show people how to treat you. That's just not in the dating realm, but that's in life in general, whether it's friendships, co-workers. You got to show people how to treat you. And when you operate like that, that's how you become abundant, because naturally you're coming from the place of what can you do for me? And that's where you got to come from the place of, especially in dating, what can you do for me? Put yourself first so that other people will put you first. All right, guys, that's my video for today, man. I appreciate you guys for coming over to the channel as always. Make sure y'all go link to my Patreon for more exclusive content. That link is in the description. And also, guys, make sure you continue to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm gone.